Thank you so much, and of course, a wonderful, should I say good morning? But anyway, it's good to be back again in the office of the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports to discuss sports and sport-related matters. And of course, we will be talking on a wide range of issues regarding the development of sports and of course some of the issues that are related to the question that we want to ask in today's conversation. So I will allow my colleague Babu Garci just to keep the ball rolling.
Honorable Minister, thank you so much for the time you've given us to talk to you. It has to do with sports and sports-related issues in the country. Just want to say congratulations under your tenure once again. We are seeing another delegation leaving the country for the Olympics after back-to-back AFCON successes, and other areas within the sporting disciplines under your tenure. But I want to say thank you for granting us this interview, and we are happy to be back in your office.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Nani, Mr. Baukar, and thank you, Mr. Dell. Also, we are glad to host you here one more time, and thank you for always being available to talk to us or to give us this opportunity to share our projects and whatever we are doing.
Let's kickstart. We will start with the Independence Stadium because it's the hottest topic when it comes to Gambian sports right now. Gambian football fans can't wait to get back to the stadium after months and months of renovation. What can you tell us as the Honorable Minister as the level of renovation work going over there and the rumors I've seen recently on social media that the stadium won't be ready for the September game against Tunisia in the AFCON qualifiers?
Well, yes, this stadium is on course. The work is ongoing. And yes, we agree that we've taken a lot of time, but I guess we just want to ensure that we're doing the right thing and get a stadium that would be fit for purpose, and CAF would give the approval that is necessary. And like we always say, some of these projects also comes along with a lot of other technical requirements that is handled by the Ministry of Works, and there is also a financial aspect, which is the funding aspect, which is handled by the Ministry of Finance, and we are in the middle juggling between those two. So sometimes these are the reasons why sometimes works get delayed more than what people expect. But we've started, and that's the second phase, despite the break. And you all know when we started, we took the media there and told them work is starting. And we expect it to be 4 months. And we are still in that 4 months. And that's going to be in August. And that's when the contract is supposed to end. So in terms of, well, whether we play here in September or not, I mean, I guess it's obvious because CAF normally requires that you must give a stadium 45 days before the match day. And because we're playing in the first week of September, the 45 days was actually last week. So when the work is ongoing at the stadium and it's not going to be completed until August, and once it's completed, you have to send the pictures and the videos or possibly get CAF here for inspection. There is no way that we can be able to play here. I think that's the obvious thing. But I guess Gambians should have been prepared for that because we were very clear from the beginning in terms of when the work is going to finish. Now that CAF scheduled the AFCON qualifiers to start in September, we cannot submit. In fact, you don't even submit a stadium. There's a system where the GFF would go to choose a stadium. And Gambia is not listed there, so you cannot submit that for obvious reasons. But we hope that we'll be able to complete the job and get our matches back here as soon as possible.
That is the September encounter against Tunisia. Are we hopeful against Madagascar the upper month, October, we will be able to use the stadium?
Yes, that's what we look out for. Again, this is in October. I'm not sure if we know the dates yet, but we believe that by the end of August, when the work is completed and CAF is able to come here on time, because we also don't control that. They have their own time. Just like what happened the last time, we wanted them to come earlier at the beginning. They came towards the end of the work. We hope that this time around when they're invited, if need be, if they want to come, that they come early and be able to look at the stadium and give us their final opinion, and then we can be able to play here. But our wish, and we look forward to playing here against Madagascar, and I think if everything goes well, we should be able to play here. I'm not guaranteeing that. Like I said, some of it is technical, some other things are involved. And we want to be as clear as possible, but we cannot give tentative confirmations about whether we can play here or not.
So, okay.
We're in the second phase of the renovation. One area that I'm so passionate about, of course, you know my relationship with athletics, is the issue of the tracks.
Yeah.
There is, minimal mention of the renovation or the removal of the track and replace it. Can you confirm to me if there are plans to replace this track so that our athletes will, start using the tracks here to train, and compete instead of going to Senegal?
No, in the second phase, the tracks are not part of it. Again, when we went there the other day, we said that what we're doing now is focusing mostly on football. That is the expansion of the tunnel, the mix zone, and quite a number of other areas, the VVIP, VIP, the fencing, exterior fencing, the chain link fencing side, and other areas, the media room, the media tribune. Those are what we are doing. But the exclusion of the second phase is mostly two things. That's the floodlights and the tracks. They are not part of it. They are put in the third phase. But the focus now is really how do we get our matches, our football matches back home. And then once we're done with that, depending on the availability of funds, then we'll be able to work on this. But these are really expensive capital projects, like I said, and the Ministry of Youth and Sports and by extension government don't have the budget for it. We struggle to be able to get other sources of funding to be able to do what we're doing. And the commitment is there on the side of the government, on the side of the ministry. And we're looking at ways to finish the second phase and start the third phase, and that's where the tracks are. And I understand people will always say the tracks need to be there. And we all agree that the tracks need to be fixed because it is part of the sports that we practice. But unfortunately, based on the availability of resources, we look at what we believe is the most top priority and focus on that, and then we move on. That was why we had the first phase, the second phase, and the third phase. And now that we are doing the second phase, we look forward to doing the third phase, and athletes will be happy to get their activities back there.
It's unfortunate that there's no time frame for the third phase when is it commencing, but honestly, I think athletics should be given the priority like football, and just looking into the two sports and see what athletics is doing recently. They should be given huge top priority as well.
No, of course. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I think they've been, they've won quite a number of medals, Gina and others, and they've been doing well. Now, of course, comparing the two sports is also different because we all know the energy and the anticipation that is in football is not compared to what is in athletics. And the majority of Gambians' focus also is on football, just like how it happens in the world. I mean, and of course, I want to be as frank as possible. But it doesn't mean that we are underrating athletics. No. The tracks itself is equally very expensive. These are costs that are very, very high. It's just to fix the tracks. If I remember the estimates or the BOQ that we receive from the Ministry of Works is about $50 million is to fix removal and replacement of the track. So these are the costs that, like I said, we wish we have the budget. But again, if you are working in a country like this where the economy is small, the budget's allocated. In fact, we don't even have allocation. We struggle. We need to look at what we believe is the most top priority, like I said. And we all know, even within us here as a ministry, we believe we are important. But then education is also important, health is important. But when it comes to government allocation, they would have priority among priorities. So in this instance, I guess that's the same thing also that applies in the sports sector. Everyone else is equal, everyone is important. But the thing that we believe we need to fix is the CAF. Because right now, football is different. Football, if you're hosting, like you're playing AFCON qualifiers, you're playing World Cup qualifiers, you need to host your home matches home. And it's mandatory. If you cannot, you have to go and play outside. In the case of athletics, we don't have that. We don't have any competitive qualifiers where Gambia would be forced to host at home. Yes, it's just for training and to get the best of strength, but
and to compete within ourselves as well here.
Yeah, no, yes, but that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to explain that, and I know your passion for athletics. I'm just trying to
It's
say.
unfortunate that this country is football biased. But
Yeah, but no, but you look at it. The condition is this: football requires that you have a stadium to play.
yes, that's true.
It's not that we are hosting. We are not. If it was only left to hosting an event like an international competition or regional competition, maybe government would probably not invest in the stadium. But it is mandatory to have a stadium because you have matches to host.
Yeah, sure.
So that's what I'm saying. But athletics is different because athletics does not have any qualifier rounds that you have to do it at home or go look for somewhere else to do it. So these are the reasons why, if you put the two together, it will be difficult for anybody not to say we have to focus on football because of not just the interest, but the realities of the things that we need to be able to have a stadium to play.
Yeah.
All right. So close to $300 million is being spent at the Independence Stadium for the renovation of the force and, of course, the completion of the second phase. Are you really satisfied with the way the work is going?
Yes, I am satisfied with the way the work is going. I've been there. I do go there as frequent as possible, and even sometimes when I close late, even at night, I would drive there just to see what's happening. And yes, we're satisfied with the work, with the pace of work, and with the amount of work that is happening. And we believe that based on what we saw on the documentations provided by technicians and by CAF, we should be able to get the stadium meet the standards that CAF requires.
So the money invested, is it the same quality that you are seeing at the stadium?
Yes, frankly. I mean, see, I know people think 200 and something, 283 million is a lot of money for a stadium. It is not. And I'm not saying it's not a lot of money. It is a lot of money by all standards. But it is not a lot of money compared to the investments that we want. It is actually on the lower side because 383 is less than $5 million. And I've said, and I challenge everyone else to go online. It's easy because you can always search. There are countries in our neighborhood, I mean neighboring countries, that have renovated their stadium, that were in the same situation like us. Some of them are still renovating their stadium. Others have completed. Few of them have completed renovating their stadium. They can check because when CAF banned stadium, they banned it with, we were in the same category with 33 countries. Today, 22 countries, including Gambia, don't have a qualified stadium. Now, the 11 countries that have completed their renovations, there is no country that spent even 5 million. I've checked most of them, from Burkina Faso to Liberia to Nigeria to Ghana to Mali. They spend 12 million, 40 million, 20-something million dollars to renovate stadium. And we are all looking for the same standard. So when people talk about cost, and because our Gambian, we want quality, but we don't want to spend. And we want to compare ourselves with other countries, but we don't want to spend like other countries.
The economic situation of the country, because our economy is not that large as compared to other countries as well?
Yes, that is one reason. So we measure ourselves to what we have, you know. But so yeah, I mean that's primarily that's the reason. Because, and even those countries that have big economies, and we know them in West Africa, some of them don't even have stadiums. They don't have anywhere to play. There are some. The list just came out recently. There are some big countries that have only one stadium. And we know of a country where one businessman renovated their stadium, not even the government. So that tells you how difficult it is for some of these sub-Saharan African countries to meet the standard that it is. But my point is, the amount of money we're spending is less compared to any other country in the continent that have renovated their stadium. And recently I saw one of the online platforms share pictures from Rwanda, and they're saying, oh, Rwanda has completed renovating their stadium. And they saw the beautiful photos. What they did not say is how much did Rwanda spend. And it's good for, if you are reporting also, I mean, not you, I mean, when people are reporting and they want to make comparisons, they also state the fact. That country spent $145 million to renovate their stadium and increase the capacity. If today anybody wants to spend even $45 million, they would say we eat the money.
So I remember speaking to you last year, something about it, you know, when we discussed issues of building a new stadium. Are we still in course, the target, you know, in the long run, maybe a 25,000, 30,000 seater?
Yeah, we are working on a 30,000 seater. I mean, working on actually the plans. We've already got 2 designs from 2 different companies that are in here, and we've got the cost for them. Like I said the other time, one is costing about 136 million euros. The other one is about 150 million dollars, which is almost the same. It's just euro and the dollar. And yeah, so we've got the land in Lamen, and government have decided to keep it there as a land for the stadium. So what is left now is the financing, and that's the bigger aspect. That 150 million dollars is about $6 billion. Does the country have $6 billion by itself to build a stadium? Maybe not. But we are trying to look at possible partnership in 2 ways, either to have a country, just like when we Gambia got the stadium, and some countries do have it from their bilateral partners, or if that's not possible, then the government needs to decide if they want to take a loan to build a stadium. Will it be viable based on our loan portfolio to take a loan? These are all things that are in discussion, and we will see. Our priority, and for the priority of the president and all of us, is to be able to have a second stadium that can meet the capacity of the Gambian population, because this stadium has lost the capacity that it used to have with the individual seats. So yeah, but we are on course, and we look forward to making the project successful.
Finally, on the
with
stadium.
the relationships, Gambia, Turkey, Gambia, China, Gambia. I'm not into diplomacy thing, but I've seen other countries, neighbors did the same. Other countries, they use their bilateral relationship, they build their stadiums for them. We can do the same thing.
Yes, of course. That's what I just said. I said we already have the plan, we have the land, and now we are looking at 2 options: to get a bilateral partner to support in it. If that fails, then government can decide whether they want to take a loan to build.
You have a time frame for this?
Well, as soon as possible. But of course, diplomacy also, it comes along with quite a number of other things. And I don't want to say, I don't want to get into those details of Gambia and other. We have a good relationship with some other countries, but there are a lot of other factors that are there. It's a give and take situation. So maybe one will ask, if I give, what do I take?
What do I take? So you think Gambia have nothing to offer in return?
Well, no, I'm not saying that. That's why I said I don't want to get into those things. But there's a lot more that requires these things, and these countries don't have like money to give out for free. They support you, yes, but there's a lot of other issues also. So that's what I'm talking about. But yes, the Independence Stadium was built by the People's Republic of China. Those times in the 1980 something, early 1980. And completed in 1983. But since then, it has not happened. Of course, I know they built stadiums in other countries, but we're definitely not ruling it out. We're working on it. Even as we speak, there are documentations that are going in between us and them, and we've had a meeting recently with the ambassador here, and all of those are all part of that build-up process, and hopefully we'll be able to succeed.
Finally, the Gambia is playing in September. You've buttressed on we are playing away. We are made to understand also that the match, some suggested Senegal, but in the end, there is a strong conviction that the match will be played in El Jadida in Morocco. Do you think, as minister, is reasonable to play in Morocco than bringing the match closer to home so that fans can come and watch in Senegal as well?
Yes. No. For us as a ministry, even in the past, our position remains the same. As far as we're playing outside, our choice would have been to play in Senegal for many reasons. One, we think it might be a little bit better opportunity for Gambia, not even a little bit, it's a better opportunity for Gambians to travel, to go and watch, just like we did in chess in 2020, early part of 2023 or 2022. No, 2023. But sometimes also you work with partners like the Football Federation, and we discuss these things and we look at the logistical arrangements and maybe choose a country. And for some reason, Morocco has been the most ideal in the past. Now, for this one, I don't want to be the one that will say we're playing in Morocco, but Comoros is in the same situation like Gambia. They don't have a stadium where they're going to host us, and they've been looking for a place to host us. And from the information we are getting so far, it appears they they're going to host us first.
Yeah, they will
And
play
it appears they're playing
Morocco.
in Morocco. So technically, if the country that you're playing first is not hosting you in their own country because they don't have a stadium, they're hosting in Morocco, and then you have the opportunity to host your other opponent in another country. Ideally, you will wish that you play in Morocco because then it makes it easier. We travel there and play with Comoros by Comoro hosting us there, and then we just stay there and play with Tunisia rather than traveling out of the country, which becomes more expensive to travel out and then travel back again to their country of destination. So these are some of the logistical arrangements that we look at, and then together with the federation, we make a decision.
I remember you once told me, playing in Morocco, even ball boys, we pay them. Okay, let's take out this game out of it, because hence Comoros will be hosting us in Morocco and stuff. But the advantage of playing, our home games, neighboring countries, will do us more good, than harm. Looking into a lot of things, including fans, because the boys miss playing, behind the fans and everything. And I guess you will definitely agree with me that Senegal should have been a better option, even without this issue of Comoros and other things. We've been playing in Morocco for far too long, and the boys have been detached from the fans for quite a number of games.
No, of course. No, there were attempts. There was a match. I mean, I think it was our last AFCON match. There was attempts from even us to try to play in Senegal because of what you said. It was a very crucial match for us. It was the match that we needed to win or draw to be able to qualify, even though we drew in Morocco. But we tried Senegal. Unfortunately, I think Senegal was also playing around the same day. And there is this period where you need about 2 days before the match to allow the team to go and train at that venue. And it wasn't possible because it was just 1 day in between the two matches. And we couldn't play because 2 days, between Senegal play. And we did not. So sometimes it's also difficult. When we played in chess, it was easier for them to give us chess. We know the arrangements with the current stadium, Ablaye Stadium, is not open as such because there is some other interests that are there in terms of the ones who constructed it. And so it's a little bit difficult sometimes accessing it. That was why, and chess is not qualified just like us, the stadium. So the only one in Senegal that's possible is Jamñajo, and it's a little bit complicated sometimes.
I was told,
the
the private company managing it also is...
Yes. It's not 100% government managed. It's a private company, and sometimes it's challenging. So these are the things. So yeah, sometimes people tell us, well, this is and that's what I said. We want to play there, but the logistics involved sometimes is a little bit more difficult. And these are administrative things that the public don't get to know. But there are a lot more issues that are involved.
Yeah, it's good when you tell them so they will know. And
No, of course, because people are, sometimes it's difficult, but if it is like an independent stadium or chess, which belongs to the government 100%, then you can negotiate that. But something that is co-managed by another partner, and then they charge you for it, of course. Even if you go there, because hosting a match in a foreign country is like you're hosting it in your home country. Whatever you would have done in the home country, you would do it in another country.
Yeah.
The security you'll have to provide, the bosses you'll have to provide for yourself and for the host country. For the opponent.
Team,
the security is your responsibility, and all of these other things that comes along with it. So it's a little bit challenging. That's why I said we wish that we play here. There's no reason why the ministry, even our football federation partners would want to play outside. But the conditions are so difficult, and we find ourselves in this very difficult situation that, yes, it's our time, but 40 years with one stadium without being renovated is what is putting us in this mess. And now we have to look for money, that huge investment to be able to do what should have been done maybe 10, 15 years, 20 years ago, by progressively upgrading the standards.